Hello, today I want to make a little experimenting and fun with you. I want to propose you to imagine some things and what the goal of this exercise is to develop your Broadmann areas 23, 31 and 24. Let me show you a picture actually. Like this, Broadmann areas 23, 31 and 24. I will explain what they are. These areas are a very old region of a brain. What they do, when you develop any senses at all, they first are developed, these areas. They are called singular cortex, I believe. And when your memories are formed, they're formed in these areas. Most of them, not all of them, some of them are in amygdala also and everything else, but area 23, for example, is responsible for your spatial navigation. And that is what many people like me are lacking today. The hunger for spatial navigation. When you're over 40 like me, you really experience this, that you start forgetting places, start forgetting faces and everything. So now let's develop our areas 31, 23 and 24 and have an exercise in spatial navigation that will develop these areas. So, you know, for example, when you look at a place from a new perspective, you know, sometimes maybe you move the furniture around your house, or you have repairs, or you visit a new place, or you go to your neighbor's house. You have this shift of perspective. You know, every point in our space can be viewed from infinite number of other points. Not trillions, not billions, infinite number of other points. I had an experience of that myself. One day I laid on a floor here and I noticed that when I look at my room from a floor, it looks different. Wow, it really looks different because I'm just looking from the bottom up. And that leads us to our exercise. There are really infinite number of points from which you can look at any, not only spatial place, a place in space, but you can also look at psychological things like problems and everything, that whatever you want, you know. So, but now our point will be on spatial things. So, let's maybe begin now. I want you to remember some very beautiful or nice house or flat or house or flat or anything else that you saw in your childhood. Okay? Something that you liked passing in front of, some beautiful house. It must not be actually very beautiful, it could be just calming or with trees growing in front of it. Just memorize. And I understand it's hard to do when I tell you so from the screen, so what you can do is just memorize my instructions and do them when you're really falling asleep in full darkness, very calm and very relaxed. So either memorize them or try to follow them right now. Try memorizing this relaxing or beautiful house that you walked in front, past it as a kid. Okay? It will take some time, really, to recollect all of your memories and emotions and everything. So let's imagine you recollected it or you do it after that in your sleep. And now imagine that in this house or in this flat that you never paid attention to, much attention, there inside for all of your life lived the most wonderful people that you could ever imagine. Most wonderful people. They would look through this window that they have that you saw as a kid. They would look at these trees, look at this maybe rising sun or sunsets or skies or anything else. And they, for their whole life, are absolutely happy and positive people. Just imagine that. That house that you saw in your childhood. Now, I wonder how it makes you feel realizing that right next to you could be living amazing, beautiful. I understand in reality, yes, of course, I would agree with you. People are basically like us. They're torn down by problems. They're not really growing and blowing, and blooming. They're, but just imagine, for the sake of this exercise, that really there is an absolutely wonderful person living next to you. Then another exercise. Imagine the area where you live, and maybe it's a block of flats, maybe it's the area with houses, with separate houses around. Imagine you're very relaxed and you travel in your mind across the area and fly into these houses or flats and look at the area around through your neighbor's windows in the house. Just try imagining that. You look through their windows, as this proverb, walk 8,000 miles in another person's shoes. Try looking through their windows, and you understand. They look through their windows. You look through your window. And it's actually very relaxing to imagine the world. It's not only good for you, it's also relaxing and healthy to imagine a world how other people see it. Now imagine again, you fly to this house that is not your house. You have never probably been there into this house. You take a walk around and you look through these windows and you look on other things. As I said, this develops your spatial orientation area 34, not 24 in your brain, and 31. And if you do that a lot, or especially if you're a traveler, you don't even need it because you get it from real life. You see or imagine places, faces, and everything else from other perspectives. And areas 31 and 24 in your brain start developing. And what it also does, I believe, I have no proof for that, but probably it prevents Alzheimer's, you know, because at the age of about 20, every one of us is very spatial oriented. Everyone knows space around them quite well, and after ages it starts dissipating. So, if you want to develop it more, imagine these pictures. Imagine yourself flying around the city where you live, or any city you want, any place. Not just, like, oh, I'm flying, that's fine. No. In really deep detail, imagine every building. Imagine every flat. If you're not comfortable with imagining some strange houses or flats, imagine that inside of these houses live very good people, the best people that you met. Amazing, wonderful gurus live in this house, okay? And fly there, imagine it. And it will give the food to these areas I mentioned before, 31 and 24. And if my theory is correct, it will even stop Alzheimer's from developing in older people. Okay, so do that. If you don't want to do it right now, just memorize it, and when you go to sleep, when you fall asleep in the darkness, with lights dimmed and everything, because it's important not to have any lights when you imagine something, because our eyes really produce a lot of signal and you don't want that. Dim the lights and imagine how you fly into every possible flat, house, or building that you want to fly into. And imagine that in these buildings and in these flats live the most wonderful people that have been living there for your entire life. And for some reason you never had a chance to meet them, but they're still there. Imagine that. And that's a very good exercise for developing this orientational, spatial areas of the brain. Okay, and once again, I will give this example again. If you don't want to do all of these exercises, just try changing your position. You know, you can move your furniture around, or you can lie higher or lower on the ground, or in a different bed. For example, if you have many bedrooms, you can just go into another bedroom. That's another perfect exercise. Try sleeping or resting where you didn't sleep or rest before. Go into another bedroom, lie on a floor, try seeing from a different perspective. You will see things that you never noticed, and that will be beneficial for developing of, again, I say this, area 31 and 24. Thank you. That's about it for today. Just some little experiment that I wanted to do with you. Thank you. Goodbye.